What's up, guys? Welcome back to Redline Reactions. I'm Evan, and today we are back with more from Ren. We're continuing Vincent's tale. This is the bedroom. We did sunflowers and then self-portrait, and now we have the bedroom. It's just a fascinating tale, and I'm really excited to kind of see how Ren starts knitting together these different sagas. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. The different sets in this and filming locations are so great. Okay, right before he gets going, we've all seen those comments that are kind of structured the same way, where it's like you're kind of looking in on a conversation and it's like, me, what genre is Ren? And then, Renegades, yes. And I don't think there's a more accurate representation of that than him. Like, I mean, how would you even describe that? Seriously, that intro, how would you describe that? I don't know. We're going to back it up. I was trying to time it. I figured I saw the mic there. I was like, he's about to start singing. I'm going to pause it right, but I got him right at the wrong time.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the wave. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too DK. And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so we don't have to think. Mercy, days bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth.
I feel like he's speaking about something that a lot of people can relate to. And I'll be completely upright. Like, I've had, my fair share of struggles in my life. I mentioned some of them, primarily stemming from ADHD, right? It's very hard in school to sort of fall in line with everybody else, with the way that, the school system here wanted things to be done. It was always a hassle making and then keeping friends, which I get it. Those aren't nothing, but there are people out there with a wide range of different problems. And if you're coming from a household in poverty growing up, or if you are, missing a parent, or if, you're surrounded by, drugs or weapons or gangs or whatever, it can be really easy to sort of trip up once, and then you just get caught in the web and then descend farther and farther and farther and farther, and it becomes harder and harder to get out. And that's sort of the vibe that I'm getting from him, where it can be this thing or this thing or this thing or this thing. Doesn't matter. They're all the same thing. They're all designed to get you to trip up and hold you down. And then you find a crutch, right? Crime, drinking, drugs, all sorts of things, self-abuse. And then you just spiral.
And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose, bad decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? 1, 2, many 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
I recognize that. Oh.
Start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9. Through his Christ timelines intersect rich as fate was designed. Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Falls a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absent leave.
It doesn't really need to be said, but Ren really plays fast and loose with that fourth wall, doesn't he?
the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono rebound no yo-yo, and so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Rich just losing sleep while his whole family's talked up. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger, damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all a damn forsaken by creation. Revelations Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5.
Yeah, that face, that just sort of that 1,000-yard stare. I think we've all seen people who've given that off before, haven't we? Where it just sort of like you just kind of start going through your own mind, like, nope, that way's blocked off. Nope, that way's blocked off. Nope. Oh no. And then you just it's like, it's a great song, but like, I don't want to, it's obviously not a song where you're like, but the story it's telling, I think, is incredibly relatable.
Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal, but slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud, cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
Oh. What could go wrong? Yeah, that was the overall sort of lesson that I kind of took from that is that whether it's, I mean, I think Vincent used alcohol. But again, like I said, um, uh, when things like this happen, and listen, it can happen to men or women, but this is about, you know, a guy. And men internalize things like we become very obsessive, right? When things like depression come into play. And so sometimes you'll see the obvious one. Sometimes you'll see drugs, alcohol, right? And but other times men can get, like I said, obsessive. And so sometimes you'll see like food addictions, you'll see gym addictions, you'll see things like that. And it might seem on the outside like, oh, this guy is like, he's doing this for this reason or this reason, but really it just kind of comes back to depression, right? And it can take many forms. Like I grew up thinking this is a very limited worldview, but I grew up thinking that being depressed meant you were crying all the time, right? And I'm sure that is the case for some people, but it's a lot more. Like being withdrawn, your motivation not being there, your self-worth not being there, and then you end up latching on to something, one of those things that I talked about, thinking that it's an escape when really it's just the prison. It's just the prison. So you got to get yourself out, which is a lot easier said than done sometimes. But the biggest thing you can do to help get yourself out is just take a leap of faith, right? Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Okay, because sort of like we saw in High Ren, like that sort of evil side, that horrible voice in the back of your head, it knows that, taking a chance, going outside, finding someone to talk to, it knows that will work. It will work. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but eventually it will work. So it doesn't want you to do it. So it makes it feel uncomfortable. It makes it feel like, oh God, that's the worst thing ever. Don't listen to that. Just give that thing the middle finger, right? That's how you get yourself out of this sort of thing. I don't know why I'm going on this rant right now about mental health, but I mean, it just sort of seems like what he's kind of touching on here. So, and like I said, I've been a strength and conditioning coach for 15 years now. Actually, a little over 15 years. And I've worked with over 6,000 young athletes, youth athletes. But what a weird time that is in our lives, right? I mean, think back how many, like, just the cocktail of hormones and weird shit that's going on in your body. And then now these kids have social media to deal with. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being back in middle school or high school or secondary school or wherever and having to worry about Twitter and TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and all that? And so it's important that we talk about these things, because if we don't, then we're going to fall into a situation where we have an entire generation of kids who are already messed up still from, at least over here, the lockdowns and having to stay home from school and not getting that social aspect. But we're going to just have an entire generation of kids whose worldview is so warped and whose mental state is so not altered, but it's not in a good place, because what they're used to, all the stuff on their phone, all the stuff on TV, that ain't real life, right? And so we need to talk about these things. Otherwise, we're going to lose real life. Anyway, boy, I can't imagine that Ren didn't make this video to not have discussions like this, take place. And I mean, it's a fascinating story. It's relatable. It's compelling. I mean, it sounds really good too. All right. Lost among all this is the fact that it sounds really good. So I mean, speed rapping and, just sort of those not acapella moments, but well, you get what I'm saying. Here I am still trying to put him in a genre. One of these days I'll learn. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Always appreciate every single one of you guys being here. Means a lot to me. we've had a lot of fun so far, and it ain't stopping anytime soon. So, a couple things. One, let me know what you thought about this video. What did you take away from this? I am genuinely interested. And the second thing is, yeah, thank you very much for correcting me and not having me, not letting me watch these out of order, because I thought the next installment was Starry Night. But if I remember correctly, the next big installment is in fact Starry Night. But I've seen several people say that there's like 2 or 3 like smaller installments that I should watch beforehand. Is that the case, or should I just go straight to Starry Night? Let me know. Other than that, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We have a lot of fun here, right? And things are happening very, very quickly. I have some really exciting news just on the horizon that I think all you guys are going to be really interested in, but you're not going to know unless you're subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button and then blow up the comments. I'll be waiting for you there. And yeah, I hope I hope all of you have a great rest of the day or night or morning or wherever you are. All right. So stay safe, and I will see you next time.